Alright, so let's see. I think we're okay, about as okay as we're going to be with the food we're carrying. Oh, we're getting low. We're getting dangerously low. Let's actually grab the canned tomatoes. Yeah, if I run out of this food, we leave. Like, I will grab the dog food and honey and that, and we'll go walking looking for food. Alright, so I just grabbed like 12 screwdrivers, so... Yep. Always a fan of grabbing the water coolers. I've gotten myself in trouble with the water coolers a number of times because like I won't have a vehicle or anything. I'm like, nope, water cooler's coming home. Like coming home, it's like, but it's like 35 units of weight. Don't care. Water coolers coming home. 250 water storage. Uh-huh. And we can run a little bit because where are you all coming from? I still haven't figured that out. I mean, I'm guessing south, but still. Stop it. This is supposed to be the part I've already cleared and I can be a little bit more, you know, reckless about. This isn't the spot where you're supposed to be here every single morning for me to deal with. Yeah, that is the thing, like, I mentioned it a number of times. Usually the way I found this has worked in the past is you'll hit wherever the zombies kind of rally at, and you'll kind of just meat grinder them. And at first you'll have tons and tons of groups that are all like 18, 20 zombies, and it'll feel like you're making absolutely no progress. And you'll kill a horde, and you'll kill a horde, and you'll kill a horde, and it just seems like they're a place. And then suddenly you get to the point where like, wait, there's only 9 or 7 in this group. Wait, there's only 3 or 5 in this group. No, I really don't want to have to drop back to that point. But I have like, I think 14 screwdrivers on me, and then I've got something like 8 more hand forks back at the house. So I'm really hoping between these I can just get my hands on like a crowbar or a machete or a ball-peen hammer or a couple of hunting knives or anything that doesn't require me to go back to letter openers and butter knives and bread knives. Because usually by the time I've hit maintenance 4, I no longer have to do that. Because weapons last long enough for me to find something. How are the stats looking? I've got 2,600 zombie kill, well, 2,620. We're 1 month, 6 days in. I'm just about to drop to 90 kilograms, so we're getting real close to healthy weight. If we look at our skills, I have short blade of 4, maintenance of 4, 3 in pretty much all of the other combat skills with the exception of long blade and spears. 2 nimble, and then I'm at 3 fitness and 4 strength. So we're looking pretty good, actually. And then the crafting stuff is all basically garbage because we haven't been working on any of it at any meaningful level, and we probably won't until such time that we, you know, are effectively trying to build a base. I did not see you, zombie. This is also one reason I keep the inventory up is because I know I don't have the time to try and loot all the bodies. It's good to have the window up where sometimes you just walk by and be like, oh, vitamins, and turn around and grab them. Or, you know, if you missed a weapon or whatever. I don't know where this helicopter is and it's worrying me. Oh, you have a meat cleaver! I can use that. Gimme. Yeah, let's go down this way. What do you got going on there, buddy? Oh, it's just your hat. I thought for I was like, wait, is that a backpack? But nah, it's just his hat. Yep. I think I mentioned it the other day. It was one of my runs that we were. I think it's like over 2,000 somethings in before, or no, it was like 1,000 something zombies in when we finally found a satchel. So like, it was at a warehouse, so I had access to weapons, but we didn't get, you know, a satchel for over 1,000 zombie kills. And then it was like somewhere in the area of like 1,800 or 2,000 something zombies. We got a duffel bag, and then shortly after we got the duffel bag, we immediately just got a large backpack. But just, especially when you're doing the zero to hero kind of run, where you only get 6 carry weight, and you can't even find a satchel, is just such a rough go of it. That group's moving, maybe. I don't know what they're doing. They're all like shimmying around. So this is the thing that keeps happening, is you notice now they all seem to be just pushing out of town again. And I don't get what's happening. Like, there's migration, and that, yeah, absolutely, that I would expect to see some of the zombies migrating towards where I've cleared, but it's just like this weird undulating thing where I get close enough to town, and then they just kind of pulse out and, you know, a good, like, 100 zombies or so. And then I have to refight my way back in. Now granted, no respawn, so we are wiping them out. Eventually they will run out of zombies to throw at me. But it's just been a completely weird time, because I've done this where we've gotten into Ekron once we cleared it completely, and then we've had other times we've gotten really close. That, oh, bodies are starting to disappear, so watch these skeletons vanish around us little by little. That one disappeared down there. I'm gonna kill this group behind us. I didn't want to, but I really do need to make sure I keep my exit clear, just in case things go sideways, especially when I know a helicopter is going to be here any time. Oop, I thought you were going to be dead. That was presumptuous of me. Now you're dead. Yeah, no, with the ridiculously high populations where we're at no respawns, basically what's going to happen is eventually I will clear out the town, and that's fine, because that's kind of the intent. But, all we'll do from there is just move on to the next town and clear that out. Yeah, keep in mind a big part of it is I do have maintenance 4 at this point, so things will hold up much longer than they would otherwise. Yep. Yeah, so... I mean, we intend on going there eventually. It is our last intended target, though, because that's going to take, like, the entire rest of the playthrough combined. Oh, this is going to be... We're going to do so much worse. We're going to eat cockroaches and all sorts of stuff. I'm feeling it already, because I should have backed out to get more food by now. I'm just being stubborn because I just really want to make this final push into town. And like I said, it's weirdly, like, keeps undulating out at us, making us fight again. I need to have another weapon equipped. I know, right? I would love a nightstick. Or, you know, just a crowbar or a machete or a katana or literally anything I can reasonably kill zombies with. You know, I'm using screwdrivers. Come on, game. Show me a little love. We've aggroed on the left. I don't care. Maybe I do care. I didn't think we got the whole thing, but, you know, here we are. Take my pills. And then stabby stabby. That's fine. Join the party. Everyone's here. Yeah, this kind of stuff always ends up happening sooner or later in these runs. There's too many zombies for it to not happen. But when you're using short blades, it's not that big of an issue. Long as you got enough short blades, and we got, I think, 10 more screwdrivers on us. Thank you for the follow. I will read that name in a moment. Zombies are currently giving no chill. So you know, gotta deal with that. Okay. Thank you for the follow, Marutsu-chan. Welcome to stream. If I've mispronounced that, please correct me. Yes. That's actually kind of what happened, if you recall, when I picked up that second group. That's basically what happened. Was I was backtracking, there was a horde up here, I started to back past them and we aggroed. But yeah, I backed up, but usually what happens is you'll see me, I'll back up, and they'll just like run to the side real fast the moment I know I'm in trouble. And I'm just running to not get pinched between the groups. But yeah, I don't think I've actually died from backing into a group itself. I've definitely had close calls, though. I mean, and I have had it where backing into a group has led to, you know, you get into the prolonged fight that you get exhausted and that kind of death, but I don't mean, like, actually just backpedal into it. How helps that strategy? Oh, running down? So if you imagine I'm fighting a horde here, and there's a bunch here. So there's a group back here. So the moment I back up and I see the zombie in range here, I want to not have the zombies on both sides of me. So I'm going to try and run away real fast to put all the zombies on this side of me. I don't remember if you can collect rainwater in the empty cans. But I've already got a whole bunch of stuff that I can, like I got a bunch of cooking pots and saucepans and all that kind of stuff. So I'm not too worried about that. Now, what I want to do is try and remember which of these paths was the ones we killed, because I saw a lot of screwdrivers and knives and all sorts of goodies that we did not get a chance to grab because we were fighting. Yeah, if I got really desperate, I might, but I'm not too worried about it yet. I think I've got half a cooking pot full of clean water, and then I've got 2 saucepans full of tainted water. All right, I think that's the group there that we were dragging along with us. Gotcha. Well, I haven't done it this stream, so let me go ahead and do the new player quick like run through of stuff you should do before you even get started with anything else. Before you do anything else in the game, you should go to Options, Display, and there's this thing, Blood Decals. I recommend either turning it way down or off. And what that is every single time you kill a zombie, it puts a little blood splatter on the ground that never goes away. Now, not many of those, not a problem. But the issue is, because they never go away and you keep killing zombies, and you keep killing zombies, and you keep killing zombies, eventually they will become a significant performance impact. So it's good to turn those off. The next one is this ISO cursor visibility. I want to say it starts somewhere around like 10, 15 or something like that. I recommend 50 or 75%, and I'll go over what that is here in a minute. The next one here is aim outline. It starts, I believe, on none. I would strongly recommend any weapon. And let me show you what all that is. So the ISO cursor, if we look at my mouse, you'll notice there's that little circle with a line underneath my mouse. That's actually where my character's aiming. It's not the mouse itself, it's that circle beneath the mouse. And most of the time that won't matter, but sometimes when stuff's like right here, it can be a little difficult to tell exactly where you're aiming, so it's good to have that. And that's your ISO cursor, so visibility makes it easier to see. As you can imagine, 15% versus 50, that thing can be really hard to see at times. Now, the aim outline is when you watch me fight zombies. Whatever zombie I'm going to hit, once it gets in range, there'll be this green outline around it. So that's helpful for a number of things. One, it lets you know the zombie's in range, which, you know, that's especially helpful if you're a new player where you don't necessarily have good gauge yet for exactly how far different weapons reach. You know, you've got to play a little bit to figure that out. Another thing it helps with is knowing which zombie you're going to hit. Because there are times, maybe the zombie you want to hit and the zombie the game is deciding to hit are not the same zombie. The example I have that I disagree with the game's logic is if I have a crawler coming at me and I have a zombie that is starting to stand up from being knocked down and they're both effectively in the same range, you'll prioritize the one that's standing up, not the crawler. Now, I disagree with that because the crawler is a very immediate and imminent threat, whereas the one standing up will be a threat, you know, in a couple seconds. So it's good to have that outline for that. Thank you so much for the follow. Let's see. Ebotree Animated, welcome to the stream. I'm not sure I pronounced that right. If I did get it wrong, please let me know, and I will try to do better in the future. I've completely lost which one of these is the group we're killing. It doesn't matter. But, so it's good to have that. And another thing that can happen is there are certain, like, things that can obscure your vision you cannot see around. So if you're holding right mouse button and the zombie comes in range, even though you can't see the zombie as in the player, your character would be able to see the zombie, you'll see that outline through the wall to know that you're good to hit them. Those are pretty rare. I've almost never run into that, because usually if I can't see, I stay away from stuff I can't see behind, because dying because you can't see a zombie feels bad. The founder badge means on Twitch? I have no idea. Maybe someone who is, like, very early. Alright, you caught me on that posture check. So I've done that. I'll do the hydrate here in a minute. I gotta top off my drink because I drank it all. I have a YouTube channel, but I have not created any videos teaching stuff, and I should, but to do that I need to not be streaming long enough to do it. Oh, first 10 subs for a channel? Yeah. Okay, yeah, that'll be a... At this point, we've definitely gone well over 10 subs, but yeah. Alright, so I'm going to go quickly top off my drink and hydrate, because people have, you know, brought that up, and I don't have a drink left. But yeah, no, I probably should record a video on, you know, a number of tips and tricks and all that. I think one of the problems is because I actually do, like, part of how I make the interactive courses that I do for a living is a recorded part. And we do all the professional, make sure everything is technically correct, well enunciated, all that kind of stuff. I might be over-protectionist about it. Not that it's a bad thing, just that it takes a long time to do, because I would keep re-recording anything I didn't like. That was a little risky of a stab there, but we have 2 nimble now. We basically can get away with stuff we shouldn't be able to. What's Akron? Oh, you mean Ekron? Yeah, give me one moment and I will show you. So, if you look at the map, this little city right here is Ekron. It's a very, very small one, but it is a really nice one because it has like a bookstore, a rural supply place where you can get guns and tools and farming stuff, a tool store that you can get tools, a bunch of these little houses I've had really good luck with finding, generator magazines and all that in the past, a gas station, some lakes and that you can use. So it's really kind of a just nice town for starting out. Low to medium-ish pop. Then you got, to show you where that is, this is Riverside up here, and that's Rosewood, so it's basically, if you were to take a direct line between those two cities, you'll pass through Ekron. Yep, and that'll happen, Valkyrie. It takes a lot of effort and planning to make a good course on a technical subject. It's actually one of the things that makes it difficult for people who are subject matter experts in making courses often, is they want to quote-unquote teach it the right way first, and often, you know, to understand why the right way is even relevant to a learner, you end up having to kind of walk them into, not necessarily deliberately throwing them into making mistakes, but like showing them where things can go wrong, and then showing them how to make it better. So it's kind of tricky in that regard. And I have killed, yeah, all these zombies have been me. We've killed 2,704 zombies so far. We've estimated that, and this is using math that is out of date, it's pre-multiplayer math, so it's probably wrong, but we don't know by how much because no one's done the math again. But we estimate there's somewhere in the area to 5,300 zombies in Ekron on these settings. At this point, we've killed 2,500 in the Ekron area. Well, 2,700, sorry, in the Ekron area in general. So we should be getting pretty close to about half of the population, give or take, has been killed. Now, they're being jerks and not letting me in. So we'll just keep killing till they do. Yes, I have done software development for a little bit over 15 years. And then these days, I author interactive courses that teach software development to help other people do software development. I'm not going to link any of my courses or anything like that, because, you know, don't dox yourself, but just know that that's what I do. See, they keep having these giant hordes coming out, and I don't know where they're coming from, and it's really annoying. I mean, I know they're coming from Ekron, that should just be plain and simple, but the fact that they're out here are keeping me from getting a foothold in Ekron, which is one of my first goals on this run. Don't push that way. That kind of push where you lock yourself in place and push is not good. You almost never do that. And before people ask me what is my preferred weapons for this run, when you're killing this many zombies, it's literally any weapon I can hurt a zombie with, because I will use them all, because I will break them all because of how many zombies I'm killing. As you can see, I'm currently using screwdrivers. It's not a good feel. I would much rather be using a crowbar or a machete or basically almost anything. Awesome. C# is the language that I cover the most. It's not the only one I cover, but it's the one I have a lot of experience in. So, I know a lot of people are pretty excited about .NET 6. I also know someone tried to recruit me for my current job a number of months ago, saying, okay, we expect you to have 5 years in .NET 6. I was like, but it's not out yet, because it wasn't out yet at that point. Yeah, they got a lot of similarities in syntax. Oh yeah. Yep, and software development is going to be around for a while. Like, I would not expect you to not be able to find work. And even if you get, you know, learn the quote-unquote wrong language or whatever, a lot of software languages are very similar, as Valkyrie has mentioned, Java is very similar to C#. So even if you learn something like JavaScript or C or whatever, usually it's not hard to pivot to another language if you decide you want to do some plus. Yeah. C++ is C# with a hell of a lot of overhead that no one wants to do. And I mean overhead in the writing, not overhead in the resource utilization. You can also do a lot of tighter memory management in C#, which is why people talk about how much more performant it can be. But I have personally found that that is kind of only in the pipe dream. Most companies end up messing up their memory management and don't garner any real benefits. With exceptions, of course. But that requires companies that put, like, everything into software quality. Not bad-mouthing C++. C++ is an incredibly powerful language. It's just, it's gotten kind of niche time. So, on normal settings, yes. Basically, you have initial pop and peak pop are two different settings. So, by default, peak pop happens on day 28. And the initial pop is what you start the game off with. And so the idea is the zombies will ever so slowly increase to meet whatever the peak pop is by day 28. So you can start the game with almost no zombies and then just ramp it up for day 28. You can also do, like, this run, because it's max zombies right from the get-go, my peak day is set to the first day. So you just start with maximum zombies. Yeah, now these days, like, you'll have people who get into, like, absolutely the most ridiculous, over-the-top opinionated fights about, oh, you need to learn this language, or this language is better than that language, and I will tell you, I have worked in many languages, and there's only been one time in my entire career the tech stack had any negative implications on the product. That always the thing that ended up holding the product back was effectively quality. Rushing the devs so they don't have time to do proper quality, not enough QA testing, not enough planning, blah blah blah. And the only time that we ran to the point where the tech stack just couldn't handle it was using a technology just not even designed for, like, it was a very specialized technology, not even remotely designed for the use cases being used for. And that was using Microsoft Access as a multi-tenant database, which back in those days wasn't even something it could do. So it's not that there's a right answer, there's just a wrong answer. Everything else is right. Or not everything else, most other things right. Yeah, it is the right tool for the job. I would generally say the right tool is the tool that your team knows how to use. Like, even if you could go in and say this technology is slightly worse for this use case, if your team is very proficient in that technology, they will do a better job at producing a better product than if you chose the technology that's quote-unquote slightly more proficient that nobody on the team knows. Not saying you shouldn't learn new things and adapt and expand and try new things. It's just, that's seldom how you make the best work. Take the time to learn whatever the new tech is before you go, alright, we're doing it now. Yeah, there are definitely languages I would discourage people starting from for learning. Like, my education path from learning software development was the college I went to started me on C++. I would not wish that on my worst of enemies. That is just trying to start with a 2-ton gorilla thing to learn. Like, you're much better off learning, C# or Python or JavaScript or something that is far less heavy-handed. Then, if you want to learn C++, yeah, And in many ways, C has a lot of the same headaches that C++ does. It still has the header files and all that crap. I am not watching, and we are getting sleepy. So we need to back out and go to sleep. Yep, seg faults. I also don't miss go-tos. Finding code with go-tos in it is very upsetting. Alright, you have fun. Yeah, thread safety is a fun thing. Cache invalidation is a fun topic to deal with. Oh, what's the old programmer joke? There's, let's see. The two most difficult things to do in software development is naming things, cache invalidation, and off by one errors. What would I rather have right now? A bed or a good weapon? On this character, honestly, probably the bed. And the reason for it is every time I sleep on that stool, you'll notice this is my fatigue bar, this is how sleepy we are. I don't get the full bar down. I go down to about 1/3 of the way to drowsy. So effectively, when I wake up, I'm already 30% tired. Versus a decent bed, I go to sleep, and you'll have like the tiniest bit of tired there, but it's a pretty negligible amount. And the reason I'd say that is the bed's forever. The weapon, I'll break and then it'll be gone. Yeah. Or other things I don't miss is working on, and this is probably something only like 2 or 3 people in the entire chat will get, because it's not just software development, it's very specific software development, is I definitely remember working at companies that all of the, like so much business logic got moved into stored procedures because someone had the belief that it was just going to all be more performant. If everything was a stored procedure, everything would perform faster. Which, I mean, there's the tiniest bit of logic to that. Stored procedures do generally outperform, like, ORMs, which are how you access a database in code if you're doing it in a more intuitive to the developer standpoint. But usually it's pretty negligible. It's only when you're going, okay, like usually when you have a stored procedure that you are going to have a huge performance game, that's usually when you look and say you're doing all these joins and things, that's indication that your database structure is not appropriate for what you're doing. Not always, but often. And that just comes with you wrote the code one point, requirements have changed, and it got sloppier and worse. Yeah, and triggers, so that way you make a change to your database and you're going, where did this come from? And then you have to go through and try to figure out where the hell the trigger is. I also remember having to write a stored procedure that would audit my stored procedures to see which stored procedures were run, because the company did not have version control. And so the way you would version stuff is they had, create order new 2, create order old new, create order 2, and you'd sit there and go, which one is the hell the one I should be using? I don't care what the name is, just tell me which one is the current one. And then have to write a stored procedure just to figure out which one it is, because they would have like 6 different ones called in the code, and you're just like, but which one's the one we're actually using right now?